Greetings to my team of 144, all Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Way Showers. It is 632019. Happy new moon in Gemini. Hope you're feeling well. Today it is a beautiful, sunny day in northeastern Ohio. These energies are intense. Today I felt, as I went to hit the record button, this resistance come up in me stronger than normal. And I know most of us feel a bit of resistance when we go to start transmitting or putting out information. And I usually spend a little bit of time before doing these transmissions to meditate and contemplate on the message I want to put out, what transmission and what information. Then I also find another Lightworker's transmission or information to read so that there's some linearity to what I'm talking about, because the most minds still are resonating with the linear, and when I start these recordings, I might have a message I want to put out, or a story, or transmission, but most of the time information's coming in, energy's coming in as I open myself up, step aside, and let the Great Spirit, the Tao, work through me and what I was transmitted in my meditations. But a lot of times as I'm speaking, new information's coming in that needs to be transmitted, so I jump around a lot, and I'm jumping timelines, so it's more spatial. It's that spatial aspect. So if I just came on here every day talking about spatial, most people would tune out, turn off. So the messages are as congruent as I can be and as linear. And then some people resonate more with those transmissions, and then others resonate more with the readings that I do. So I do them both, and eventually I'll just be transmitting directly from source when the time is right. And when that time is, I do not know. And I wanted to thank everyone. One thing I wanted to get out there into the field is I appreciate each and every one of you for leaving your comments, your emails, your messages. I'm backed up a couple weeks. I've just been inundated with messages, and many people are leaving me their phone numbers to call them, and I would love to speak to each and every one of my listeners and team, but every time I get on the phone with a Lightworker or my team, it's at least an hour to 3 hour conversation, because the energy's just coming so intense now that it takes much more effort to end the conversation than to begin it. So in time, once we're in Ecuador, I'll have a lot more time to communicate and to connect on an individual basis. But for now, because I still have a 3D business / job, I've owned my own business for 15 years, and we're hanging in there, but I'm putting in about 10 hours a day, 6 days a week on that. And then I've always had something I did on the side. And right now it's the CBD business, and we have 218 people on our team. So my time is very limited on being able to hang out with people. A lot of people want to come hang out or meet up or talk on the phone. And right now, until the shift, or until the manifestation of the Healing Retreat Center, I am very limited on free time. And what free time I do have, I still do it. I do my meditative spiritual practices daily and get out to nature as often as I can, but it's sporadic, and when the opportunity opens, I take it. So I really can't plan many things in the future because of my work and the mission that I'm on. So thank you all for reaching out, and in time, I'll get back to you through email or messages, and I try to respond to most comments on my channel here, on this YouTube channel. But even that, I'm getting hundreds of comments, so between work and then takes me an hour or two, couple hours to create these daily videos and edit them, upload them, put them on my sites and that. So that to me right now is much more important. It reaches a much wider audience and helps as many people as I can. So I'm doing the best I can. Be patient. Know that I care and appreciate each and every one of you. So keep up the great work. Keep shining your light brightly into the night. We are here on mission, and we are grounding the codes into the field, into Gaia, into the new earth. So the story today I want to talk about was an experience I had yesterday evening at sunset. As the energies were coming in strong, I was meeting a friend of mine for dinner, and she was running late, so I was by a local park right on the lake. So I said, I'll meet you at this park. And the park is right on the lake, Lake Erie. And the beautiful sunset, it was maybe an hour before sunset, but the clouds were amazing, and the lake was like glass, and these vibrant blue colors, and the sky was blue, and these massive clouds that looked like motherships, and these portals in the clouds with the light beam shining through. It was so surreal. And every day, the city built these steps, these huge concrete. They're 5 tiers. And in the town I live in, there's 3.7 miles of lakefront, and there's a 37 again. I just read that, so there's another synchronicity. But most of it's private land, and the city, the town, created a couple parks to where you can, anyone in this town can go. And they built these. They put $2.1 million into this. They call the solstice steps, which face the sunset. So every day, people go to these steps to watch the sunset, and it's a very unique place. When I walked into the field, there's a big field that leads up to these steps. It was like I stepped into a whole new timeline, and the energies were just buzzing. The birds were singing, flying around, the squirrels running around, and it's a very unique place. It's a very powerful portal. The lake area itself is a massive portal. People see ships flying in and out of the lake all the time. I've witnessed it myself on several occasions. Michael Lee Hill has, if you look at his channel, he has video of ships over the lake and flying in and out of the lake. But this every day people come to these steps, and it was very unique. I felt like I walked onto the new earth. It was like a whole new timeline. There were many people from many different nationalities, probably 50 different nationalities, and children singing and running around on scooters, and there were 50 different species of dogs all playing, getting along. There was this beautiful baby Malamute, the most beautiful face. It was furry, fuzzy, looked like a little bear. This little Indian girl, probably 1 or 2, was so excited to see this little puppy, and was screaming and petting it. The dog would put out its big furry paw, and it was only about 3 months old, the dog. I talked briefly with the guy, and just seeing like people hugging and enjoy, and all these different languages, and children, and people of all ages, and all, many nationalities, just getting along. It kind of reminded me, years ago, the Jehovah's Witnesses used to come to my door, and I'd let them in my house because I transmit kindness and love to every being that I can, as long as the person isn't obnoxious or is telling me I'm going to go to hell if I don't believe in their belief system, because then the door will close very quickly. But if someone shows interest or kindness, I'll communicate with them and transmit the love and as much truth as I can. So I would let them in my house, and they would bring their booklets and flyers, and they would read to me from their Bible, and I'd read to them from my Buddhist texts and sutras, because at that time, this was in the late 80s, early 90s, I was training with the Zen masters and, researching, studying the Buddhist texts and sutras and practicing Zazen every day and the koans and whatnot. And they were very interested in what I had to say. They would listen and we would communicate, and it was beautiful. Most Jehovah's Witnesses I've ever talked to have a very good heart. They really believe in what they believe. And I just remember on these booklets, I would read the stuff they would leave, because they were intelligent people. They had a lot of good information and what they were putting out. So I'll check anything out, or take in any information I can to expand on my awareness and knowledge and truth, what is true. So I remember that on these covers it would be, they had this belief of like the 144,000 or whatever would, in the end times, would be reborn into kind of like this, this heavenly state, or this pure, this beautiful Eden type awareness. And on the covers it would be like there would be paintings of people of all nationalities with these joy on their face and beautiful fields and skies, and just the most beautiful thing that these people could present. And that I kind of felt like I was in that dream or that image of, and this is just a vision. I mean, this was really happening in this 3D plane, but it's what many visions people have of everyone getting along. People were hugging, people were playing chess, people were celebrating life, and it was very beautiful. And my friend finally met up with me right as the sun was setting, and she said it too, just like, wow, we've been there before, but just last night was this beauty that was beyond words, and the sunset was these reds and blues and light beaming through the clouds, and reflecting on this glass looked like a beautiful field of blues and pinks and pastels. And I said, this is what the new earth is going to look like. And she said, yep, we are on the new earth. So as the sun sets, it's funny, because it's like you have 100 or more people sitting on these steps watching the sunset. It's when the sun finally set, like people like clapped and cheered like it was and I said, yeah, this is the greatest show on earth. The sun is setting. The son of the Great Spirit, the Creator, is projecting this beautiful image for the world to see, and it's like just the appreciation of people. And right as the sun set, someone proposed to their girlfriend, and people were cheering and clapping on these steps that someone did that act. And then someone actually walked up to us they had a cat on like a harness, and this cat was like so mellow and came up to me and purred and was rubbing on me, and I was like, that is pretty wild. And the cat did not even blink an eye. It was like sniffing the trees and walking amongst these dogs, and it was like one of the most mellow cats I've ever seen. So it was just a beautiful scene, and it just made me realize that on a deeper level that we are on the new earth, we are manifesting, and I know there's still cleanup being done with the dark, because people are saying, like, people like my channel are talking about these wonderful, beautiful things, but people are still starving in the world, and there's wars in Yemen and that, and it's like, this channel isn't focusing on the negative. This is focusing on the potential of human consciousness and the beauty that's in this world, and not to avoid the dark, but when you focus on the beauty and the light, it gives you a power that you can transform this realm. You can manifest the new Earth. And as we reach this critical mass, and our team is all over the world anchoring in their codes and their light into the grid to help uplift all humanity. And in this process, we are in this end times, or the end of the prison of linear time. We're breaking out of the chrysalis, the cocoon, and it's kind of like an implosion and then explosion. As we break through, we break free of the matrix, and we break free. And you don't do that by focusing on the horrible things in this realm, and the negative things, and the cabal, and the dark energies. We all know they exist. Pretty much everyone that comes to these videos have been a truther one time in their life or not. That's what helped many people realize that we are in some kind of simulation, some kind of matrix, some kind of illusion. So be that as it may, we do have the power within us, the power to transform this realm in positive, amazing ways. And we're in the process of learning how to do that, and we're doing it through the power of our mind, through the power of our beliefs, and through the power of our spiritual practices. And many people have asked me, what is the day of this event? And I say, I don't know the full event. I mean, no one knows the day or the time of the full release, what people are calling the event, the Ascension. We are in the process, and many people know this. They feel the intensity, what I call the compression. We feel like we're being compressed into that 0 point. We feel like we're imploding into our own singularity, into our own footprint, whatever you want to call that still white magnetic light, and it's a spiraling in, kind of like a black hole, into that singularity. It's the vortex, and many people are feeling this as manifesting as vertigo or spinning. Because as we get closer to that center, that still center, the wheel, the spiral gets tighter and tighter and faster until you these frequencies, they rise higher and higher. It's like the acceleration of consciousness, evolution. There's this in the Mayan tradition, there were the 9 levels of the evolution of human consciousness, from single cell consciousness to through these 9 levels, like familial, tribal, national, and we're at unity consciousness. We're at the highest level of consciousness in these 9 octaves, these 9 levels of resonance, to where the breakthrough is when all beings feel the unity, feel the connection to all life, to all things, and that means living directly from the heart. So that's what I focus on this channel, is transmitting from the heart to all hearts on the planet, as many people as I can reach in these final days of the prison of the 3D false matrix. So we're purging, we're releasing, we're letting go of the negative, of the false self, of the false reality that people believed was real, but was truly an illusion. It was temporary. It was an experiment. It was a quarantine, and it was a veil. And all these things are lifting. We've lived out the experiment. We lived out the suffering. We lived out the duality. So now we are in the time of great change, this great shift. And we're on the precipice. We're right on the verge. I know it. I feel it. It's not a belief. It's an experience. I've seen it. I've been to 4D, 5D. I've returned. Rainbow body is attaining the 5th dimensional and beyond. We break through all dimensions. You don't want to get trapped in any dimensional frequency. We're bridging the rainbow bridge. We are the rainbow warriors. We are ready, and we are doing our missions. We are doing our practices. So you're doing a great job. Just keep releasing. Keep letting go. It is a time of rest and rejuvenation, because very soon we will totally break through this matrix, through this chrysalis, like a cocoon, as we break free from the prison of the mind, the prison of the story, the trap of the internal map of reality. We're still going to have a map, but it's going to be more fluid, more spatial, more open, and more, our abilities, our gifts will come fully into the field, and that's when we will affect all of reality. That's when we'll see the change through all nations, all realms, and all beings through all eternity. So this is a great mission. I mean, that we have thousands of years of suffering and torture and abuse that we're releasing and transcending and letting go of and transforming into the light, transforming into the beauty, and transforming into the truth. And in these last days, the dark is still holding on, they're still attacking, they're still doing their dirty little tricks, but we're not allowing them to penetrate into our mind to control our thoughts. Our thoughts, we must be aware of what is going through our minds at this time, because the power of manifestation is tenfold or 1,000-fold. So be aware of what's going on in your mind. Focus on what you want the new earth to be. Put your awareness into that bliss and the love for all life in all realms. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for bringing your love and codes into this realm, and for shining your light brightly into the night. Today's linear transmission is from Anastasia Campos from the Blue Beyond Guide. And I want to be very clear, there's nothing bad about linear. Linear time allows us to experience these physical realities. And there's great beauty in these timelines. But the problem is the timelines became more concrete, more like a wall, more like a prison, to where at will people have lost the ability to go beyond or break on through to the other side from our home, from our true self. So as these veils lift, we can fluctuate, we can be in this realm and not suffer, because we will have our foot in both worlds. That's what the shamans will say. A shaman, when they go through their near-death experience or their full death and then they return, they have a foot in both worlds. They have a foot in the physical and they have a foot in the non-physical, so they can travel this world without being trapped in it. Or like the Buddha said, I am in this world, but not of this world. Meaning, he was living in this realm, but not a product of it or a prisoner of it. He could come and go at will and have a foot in that pure awareness. Or his awareness could be in that pure state while still interacting with the 3D physical realm. And that's what we're all transitioning to. That's what the saying, all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn. There's no longer conflict. And the unborn mind is your original mind, or that which exists, what we call the great mystery, before time and space. Or in the eternal now that is beyond duality, which you are resonating at here in this now. So today's transmission from Blue Beyond Guide, New Light Paradigm, Anastasia, Blue Beyond Guide, Blue Rays, Transmuting, It Stops With Us, June 3rd, 2019. Here is some loving 444 support that all is well. My attention was drawn to 444 on my phone. At the same time, I received a private message of amazing energies and a picture that stated it was taken at 4:44. Some people are having a very tough time with the heavy, old purging, release, energies that came through recently. The breaking of the old software of the old consciousness needed to break to allow a very new platform of a new mainframe computer to come through, of a new consciousness. That's what this month is hugely about. This is breaking generational patterning that stops with us, the blue rays. We are bringing forth out of duality of dark shadow energy that we have been transmuting for so long, a very new energy of a very new platform that is new and different than what anyone else is bringing through. And all we are and have been through. Blue rays, starseeds, and empaths with others who are in duality energies that have not fully transmuted the dark shadow to the full light, do not fully resonate to other energies of duality, as we see through all of what is not seen by many others of those who portray or make out they are of the light, of the full light, as there are many, and no judgment here. We have an inbuilt radar that detects and feels when something does not feel quite right with someone's energy that others may not see or feel. Many of you do so very alone in your space within an area of where you live. Yet there are others. We are many now that are being seen, felt, and heard by other blue rays, as we are most definitely not alone. Angel number 444 brings us a message that all is well. Trust that you are on your correct life path and are doing a great job. The angels and archangels are available for help and guidance. All you need to do is ask. You have nothing to fear in regards to your life, work, and divine life purpose. When you take positive action towards your highest intentions, aspirations, and goals, the universe works in your favor and helps you to establish solid foundations and advance you along your path. Know that the angels surround and support you, encouraging you to keep up the good work you have been doing. Number 4 resonates with the vibrations of the archangels, practicality and responsibility, productivity, illumination and initiation, building solid foundations, stability and ability, honesty and inner wisdom, determination and endurance, hard work and progress. Number 4 also represents our passion and drive and encourages us to work harmoniously yet diligently to achieve our goals and aspirations. Angel number 444 asks that you pay attention to your intuition and inner wisdom, as your connection with your angels and the angelic realm is very strong at this time. You are encouraged to continue your current path, as your drive and determination will lead to success and fulfillment. Angel number 444 is a message that the angels and archangels are with you, encouraging and guiding you. They are offering you positive energies, inner strength, and support to enable you to get the work done that you need to. They know and understand that you have been toiling diligently towards your goals and encourage you to continue on your current path to achieve the success and results you desire. Use your strong connection with the angelic realm to your benefit and be open to their promptings and messages. Listen to your intuition and follow its guidance. As always, I am right here with you. You are masters, you are ascending, and we are gathering. Much unconditional love, truth, and honesty. Anastasia Campos. So there we have it. Another message of the gathering of the tribes, the rainbow tribes, of all nations, of all beliefs, of all systems. The rainbow bridge is opening. And one last thing I talked about, let's see here, about the time of the great shift or the great event as these energies build. When we give date, I know a lot of people get upset when certain dates are put out of major shifts and portals opening that they didn't transition to the higher realms. And the fact is that any date that's given of the future, they're just anchor points for certain light workers that will anchor in the higher lights, the higher frequencies into the grid. And as each one of these moments in time and space occur, we get closer and closer to that still 0 point energy. And we have thousands of years of darkness that needs to be transmuted. So and we've been doing this for over 30 years, but we're reaching this critical mass. We're approaching what we call the finish line. And the finish doesn't mean it's over. It's just the end of the battle, the end of the struggle, the end of the race, which opens us up to the celebration into a new world, a new earth, which then we can manifest fully that which we desire, that is of the pure awareness. Because we've learned our lessons. There was a saying the other day, in the old earth, in the old matrix, there was a saying that said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And that's what people don't like. Of course, everyone loves winning, and most people despise losing. But in reality, there is no loss, no losing. In truth, everyone wins, because everyone is of the light, of the pure awareness. Even though that pure awareness in some was converted to what we call the three hells, which they committed heinous acts against humanity and life itself. And that darkness is still holding on. We haven't reached full breakthrough yet, but we're very close. Many of you are feeling it. Sorry, this new moon in Gemini is of the lungs too, and my throat chakra is becoming fully open now. Maybe I've said too much. So I'm going to finish with that note, and know that you are loved, you are blessed, you are in service to all of humanity as we make this evolutionary leap, this quantum leap from Homo sapien to Homo luminous, light beings of the one divine source. So thank you for joining me today. Leave a comment below if you feel called to join us on our mission for the Ecuador Healing Retreat. You can join our team with the CBD oil business at cbdpeaceoil.com. We're up to 219 on our team. So I'm backed up several weeks on that too, because I can only connect with so many people in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year. So we're doing our best. Keep living the best day ever. Keep living from your heart. I love you all. Namaste.